She said it was just a friend, and I wanted to believe her. I wished I could believe in her like you can believe in gravity. Something so sure, nobody bothers to question it. We had been dating for 7 years. 7 years of shared mornings, shared bills, shared dreams jotted on napkins during late-night dinners. 7 years of me getting to know the sound she made when she breathed in her sleep, the way she tucked a single curl behind her ear when she was nervous, the lazy half-smile that only appeared on her face occasionally. I finally cherished these. The first time she said his name, it was meaningless to me. "He's just somebody I know from work," she said nonchalantly, as she scrolled through something on her phone while I sat across the room on one of our couches. "You'd like him. He's funny." I nodded. I always nodded. I trusted her. Trust is a quiet thing. It doesn't announce itself. It exists in the background of your life, stable and invisible until something rattles it. At first, the changes were so gradual that I convinced myself I was imagining them. She found herself smiling at her phone more. Not with that smile she gave me. This was softer, private, as though it belonged to someone else. She started putting a lock on her phone when she'd had none before. She laughed more easily, more lightly, but not always around me. "Work's been really stressful," she replied when I asked why she had seemed distant. "I'm just tired." I went for that explanation because it was convenient. Because to question it felt like to accuse her, and I wasn't there yet. Love makes you magnanimous with excuses. But something within myself had begun to change. It was in her eyes first. That's where I saw it. A faint flicker of something she couldn't quite conceal. Guilt, maybe. Or anticipation. Or all that toxic mashup of the two. When I inquired about her day and his name was mentioned again, her eyes shifted for a split second. They brightened, but dimmed just as fast, as if she suddenly remembered to keep them neutral. "He assisted me with something," she said. "That's all. That's all." His words ran through my head far after the conversation was over. I began to notice patterns. She talked about him a lot and then caught herself and didn't. She'd whine about her job, then turn to mush when she mentioned him. She supported him in a way she never supported anyone else. "He's not that way," she once said when I made an innocuous joke. "You don't even know him." The way she said it stung. Sharp. Protective. I said to myself I was being insecure. That I was overthinking things. That relationships had ups and downs, and this was just one. But it's not as if insecurity arises out of nowhere. It is born when things feel wrong, and you force yourself to say they're not. One night we were in bed, the room only dimly lighted by a streetlight outside. She was looking at her phone and half turned from me. I saw the light on her face, how her lips smiled. "Who are you texting?" I asked. She flinched. Actually flinched. "No one," she said, too quickly. And then another paused. "Just him. I told you, he's a friend." I stared at the ceiling. My chest was constricting, as if something heavy had lodged inside of it. "Do you talk to him a lot?" I asked. She sighed, as if I were wearing her out. "You're turning this into something it isn't." That was the first time she ever made me feel like it was an issue, that I cared. After that, silenced at Mach 2 in the future, I watched quietly by myself. She came home later. She took longer showers. She was protecting her phone as if it harbored secrets, which, I was beginning to understand, it did. I didn't want to be the kind of guy who snooped through his partner's phone. I hated the idea of it. It was kind of like, that's it, there's no turning back now. But self-doubt is a hard thing to fight back against. It whispered to me, and night after night the whispering made it impossible to sleep. Finally the truth came out one ordinary afternoon. She had left her phone on the kitchen counter when she ran outside to fetch something from the car. It buzzed once. Then again. His name lit up the screen. I felt it pounding so loud that I thought she could hear me outside. "Don't touch it," I told myself. I said that to myself, that this was the place where trust had to count for the most. But also trust had already been cracked. I was examining the damage. I picked up the phone. The messages weren't explicit. That was the cruel part. No obvious betrayal. No clear line crossed. Just intimacy disguised as friendship. Jokes about things I didn't know. Long conversations late at night about how I didn't get her and how she felt on her own sometimes. Messages in which he reassured her, affirmed her, said things I used to say. And then I saw it from her. I wish things could change. My hands shook. My vision blurred. Things were different. They already were. When she re-entered the house, looked at my face, and it's something told her right away. "What did you do?" she demanded, her call frantic. "I read the messages," I said softly. I held up the phone. "You said he was only a friend." She parted her lips, then shut them. Her eyes darted away from mine, and then back. That's when I saw the truth all the way, plain as day, no doubt. It was not guilt alone in her eyes. It was loss, fear, and something that bore a striking resemblance to regret, not over what she had done, but over getting caught. "You invaded my privacy," she continued, striving for control. I laughed bitterly. "That's what you're worried about," she tried to explain. "They always do." Nothing physical had occurred, she said. She said she never intended for it to go this far. She said she was confused. She said she loved me. But love doesn't hide. Love doesn't lie. As if love doesn't have room for another while shoving you to the sidelines. "You are looking at him the way you used to look at me," I said. "I saw it in your eyes." She started crying then. Real tears. Or maybe just convincing ones. I didn't know anymore. "I didn't want to hurt you," she whispered. "I know," I said. "But you did." Those were the worst days of my life. We cohabited like strangers in the same place. She tried to fix things. She broke off things with him. Well, that's what she told me. She apologized over and over. She promised transparency, honesty, effort. But something fundamental had changed. There was no unseeing what I had seen. I couldn't forget how her eyes had brightened when she said his name. I couldn't shake the way I had felt, insignificant and replaceable. Trust isn't destroyed all at once. It erodes. And when it's gone, every word rings hollow. I was starting to understand something painful. Even though she had never put a hand on him, her heart had already broken up with me. That emotional betrayal is worse than the physical, because it's active. It is a series of thoughts had quietly, over and over again. Weeks later, one evening, she asked me if we would be all right. I saw her, really saw her. The woman I had loved. The woman I thought I knew. "I really don't know," I said honestly. "'Cause I hear a lie every time you say just a friend." She nodded at me slowly, as though she did. Maybe she did. Maybe she always had. We didn't end things dramatically. No screaming, no slamming doors. Only a sense of mutual understanding that something irreplaceable has been broken. When I left, she was in the door watching me. Her eyes were brimming, but they weren't begging me to stay. Not really. Exiting the property, I had an air of unexpected peace amidst the grief. The kind you get when you no longer have to doubt your reality. She had said it was just a friend. But I could tell that she was not telling the truth in her eyes. And once you know the truth, you can't look away.